Hello, my people. Good evening, and I do hope that we are faring so well. I'm just doing this short video because I watch for some time now what is presently going on in Africa. Um, we all know the situation in Africa is so challenging, and what is happening is should not be new to some African minds because nothing happens just like that. Before something happens, there are indications. Uh, and if we follow indicators so well, we'll understand that they always tell us things that are supposed to happen. And sometimes we ignore them. And because we ignore them, the reality will always dawn on us. Basic commodity prices in all African countries are something else nowadays. From Cameroon to Nigeria to Senegal to Ivory Coast, everywhere. And some intellectuals in Africa are deviating this discussion. And that is where I come in. Because I feel that it is high time we as Africans should sit down and look at things without the blame game that does not have that has no place in our solution. We are blaming France, we are blaming America, we are blaming everybody except Africa itself. And you see, one thing which is purely Africa is that our fingers are always pointing at someone else. It is never us, but other people. And because it is other people, we keep feeling that the solution should also come from other people. The African solution will never come from other people except Africans. And I am so challenged that intellectuals, professors, they keep in this same narrative. For how long are we going to keep blaming colonial masters as if Africa was the only colonial continent? Countries that have been developed today, even China was colonized, USA was colonized, and so on. Why is it that it has to be Africa that is allowing the weight of colonization on the continent without looking at how they can move on? The problem of Africa is not colonization nor colonial masters. The problem is of Africa is Africa. How can we explain that for over 60 years today, we are still suffering colonization? If I should join those who have been talking about colonization, I can consider Africa as being a slave continent. But let me ask you a question. Do you expect your slave master to free a slave? No. Those who keep saying it is all about colonial masters, what are they proposing to Africa? All these intellectuals who will not stop blaming one country to another. And this narrative is even entering the day-to-day Africans. Africa needs a change of mindset. When Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, he was addressing Africans. He was not addressing the whites. Where are we today? We can't even boast of electricity in our country, basic commodity. We can't even boast of health facilities. Our leaders go to Europe on daily basis. Moreover, who are those electing those leaders? Do we elect leaders who are accountable for their stewardship? The answer is no. And until we understand this reality, Africa will remain the slave that it is. I therefore want to challenge the young people. You can change the narrative. Forget all what is being said. The narrative can be changed. Why I say the narrative can be changed is such that the young people, they have the strength, they have the knowledge, they have the technological exposure to change Africa. It is easy today for young people to collaborate across Africa and make a better nation. Moreover, young people are the technocrats of Africa. Unfortunately, they allow people who are not technocrats to lead them and to say things that are uncalled for. I once asked a government executive in Ibadan, in Nigeria, to explain to me how for over 60 years Nigeria cannot boast of electricity to 250 million citizens, whereby India, China, with bigger populations, the population of China is the population of Nigeria 5 times, yet they have electricity. This is impossible. But until we understand this reality and change the narrative, Africa will never be changed. The problem of Africa is in us. We are responsible. The more we stop pointing fingers and look at ourselves, the more we have solutions. Because Africa, whether we like it or not, is the only continent we have.